Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube video, and in this video I'll be telling you how you can pay your university fee for any Canadian university or any other university outside. I paid my university fee for Simon Fraser University for the program of Masters of Science in Professional Roller Science. Simon Fraser in particular accepts payment only through Flywire and not through any other medium. So in this video majorly I'll be guiding you through the steps of how you can create your account on Flywire and how you need to log in into your portal and then go and make the payment ahead for your tuition fees, and also some of the steps that you need to keep in your mind while paying your fee. And at the end of this video I'll be telling you the problems that I faced, so watch this video till the end and let's just straight get into the video. There are multiple universities in Canada, and more or less the mode of payment for every university is same or little different, and there are multiple ways by which you can make your transaction. Either you can go to bank and then transfer the funds internationally, or you can use portals like Flywire, or you can go to agents, for example Thomas Cook or Ebix Cash. So these are the agents who transfer your funds internationally, or there are some local agents who do this as well if you have any contact to them, and everyone offers a very competitive rate. So whichever suits you the best, you go with that particular mode of transaction. Just make sure that everything is transparent to you. If you're going to through any local agent, it's not fishy, anything's not hidden. You can sit in your home and do this online using Flywire. So they have provided a link where they have stated fees and tuition fee for Simon Fraser University and how you can transfer. And this web page very well has all the steps mentioned of how you can do this transaction. They have a video attached over here as well. So what you need to do is you need to go to this link. So here they have stated that you need to log into GoSFU, but GoSFU would require your SFU computing ID, and at this point you must not have a computing ID with you. So what you need to do is you need to go on this particular URL instead of GoSFU portal, and it opens up like this. So next, this is the portal where you need to sign in, enter your GA ID and your password, and after that sign in into this portal. Once you have your account opened up, click on account inquiry. Over here you will see account summary, and here you can see $35,000. This is the amount that I have transferred to them. You can go ahead and download your account statement by term as well, which would be needed once you're trying to file your visa and you have to show proofs that you have paid your university fee for 1 year, in case you are going through STS process. In case you are going through non-STS process, this wouldn't be required. But yeah, here is the place from where you can find everything. Now if you want to transfer the money, you click on make a payment from outside of Canada, and this would redirect you to the Flywire portal from where you have to make the payment. And here you choose what is the amount that you want to transfer to Simon Fraser and from which country you're transferring. So right now I'm transferring from India and I want to transfer, let's say 10,000 Canadian dollar. So I select that and I enter next. Over here there are multiple options through which you can make the payment. The most preferable one is ICICI, because even Flywire has their account in ICICI. Their forex department has bank in ICICI, and the process is comparatively faster if you transfer via an ICICI account. So I had done my payment from 4 different bank accounts, and I've noticed that the payments that I did from ICICI was faster compared to when I made the payments from different bank accounts. And here they would also show you the rate of that day when you are transferring your funds. So this changes every hour, like depending upon what's the current exchange rate that is there while you are transferring your fund. For example, at the time of making this video, for 10,000 Canadian dollar, this is the amount that I need to pay, and I can just select. After that, they would ask me a series of questions that I need to fill out. For example, in the first page they would ask you the information of the payer. So here you need to enter the details of your father or mother or sister, brother, from whosoever's bank account this transaction will be made. And it's not important to do this transaction from your own bank account. So for example, I just enter a random email ID over here. If you're doing this payment from your father's account, you need to enter his mail ID over here and then his name. Let me just enter my name over here. For example, if I was doing this payment from my account, then I enter my details. Your address, the city you are in, and then the phone number. I have entered a random number. This is not my actual phone number. After that, you need to enter what is your relationship with the student. So for example, if your father is paying, you need to enter parents, or depending upon these options, you can select what is your case. So for example, I enter self, and then I need to enter the PAN card details, and then the source of fund. So source of fund would be savings balance for most of the cases, and you need to agree that you have read and understood the Flywire's terms and conditions and privacy policy. After that, once you have filed all this, you can just click next. After that, they would ask you the contact information. So payment agreement, agree. After that, you need to enter the person filling out this form is student. So if I'm filling this out by myself, I am a student, so I enter student. Payment information. So here you will enter student account payment, because there's not an admission deposit that you're paying your university fee, so that would be student account payment. Next, you'll see that by default your SFU student ID would be populated and your first name and last name would be populated, because you directly opened it from your own login of SFU and from there you went to Flywire. So it will have these fields pre-filled and these are actually not editable. Then you have to enter term for which you want to pay this. So I enter fall 2022, and then they would ask your date of birth over here, and you enter your email address over here. I'm just writing a random email right now, and then I hit next. So after that, you would be on review and confirm payment information page, where you just have to check everything and then confirm. First is payment information. So this is the amount that you want to transfer to Simon Fraser, and this is the amount that you have to send from India, and payment method would be bank transfer. After that would be the payer information that you have entered. All those details would be here. Everything else that you have filled out is available over here. In the student information, fill out everything as it is when you were applying for SFU. The email ID also should be the one on which you're receiving all your communication from the university. Now, in the final page, you will see that an SFU payment ID is generated. This is the final amount that you have to transfer to the Flywire people, and in turn Flywire will transfer 10,000 to the Simon Fraser University. There are different stages on which this application would be processed. So right now it says Flywire is waiting to receive your funds. Once you transfer your money, the status would be updated and you will see that Flywire has received your funds. After that, once the Flywire processes your fund to the university, the status would change to completed and it would show that it has transferred your funds to Simon Fraser University. After you have made the payment and the status over here shows completed and this is green, it takes another couple of days, 3 days, or let's say 1 week max, for the payment to be reflected on your portal, which is over here. So once everything is done, over here it would show you what was the transaction date, Flywire payment for the term, and how much amount that you transferred. That would be reflected over here. Okay, you have to fill out an LRS form. So this is an A2 LRS form which is laid down by RBI, that whenever you're transferring any fund internationally, there are some terms and conditions that you need to abide to. So what you have to do is you have to enter the bank account number over here. So for example, if you're transferring this money from your father's account, then you have to enter his account number over here. and then student full name. Here you will enter your name, and then the student ID over here, which is your SFU student ID. After that, they would ask you for details of international transaction made in the current financial year. If you have transferred any money internationally from that account or any other account which is in the name of the payer, then you have to enter those details over here. What was the amount, which date you transferred, and name and address of the branch. Because what happens is there is a TCS tax that is applicable for any money that you are transferring beyond 7 lakhs in one financial year from a person's account. That is the reason why I made my payment from 4 different accounts, because if I was transferring 35,000 from one single account, that would be around 22 lakhs Indian rupees, and I would be taxed 5% on the amount above 7 lakh that was exceeding. So in order to avoid the tax, I made my transaction from 4 different accounts, and I split the transaction in a way that no payment is more than 7 lakhs. See what works for you and what suits you, how you want to transfer the money. In case you have already transferred the money which is beyond 7 lakhs and you have incurred a tax that has been deducted in the name of TCS tax from your account, don't worry, you can file ITR for that and you can get that money back in your ITR returns. So that's it. That is what you need to fill here. In my case, I hadn't transferred any money internationally from my father's account before in that financial year. So I had left this as empty. If you have made, you need to specify. And then they ask for admission letter or tuition invoice of the student. So over here, you have to upload your offer letter that you have received from the university. Next is the passport of the student. So here you upload your own passport, not your parents' passport, but your own passport. Final is the national ID of payer. So over here you have to upload the national ID of your parents or whosoever is doing the payment for you. If he or she is a brother or sister, you have to upload their identity card over here. And I had uploaded Aadhaar card in my case, my father's Aadhaar card. You can also upload passport, their passport, driver's license or voter ID card, which would account for the national ID of payer. So once you have done all this, you need to sign, and you have to sign from the mouse basically. So it's okay if the signature does not exactly match with your father's signature or your mother's signature. They just want a signature to confirm that okay, you have read and understood and you are signing the documents to be used for international transaction. For example, if I preview the document after doing all this, if I preview the LRS A2 form, this is what it would look like. So this is what the A2 LRS form looks like. If you go to bank to transfer your GIC or anything else, you might come across a similar form that you have to fill out if you're transferring your money internationally. So it has all the details pre-filled in as per what you had entered in the previous steps. So I want to transfer 10,000 CAD, which is equivalent to this amount in Indian rupees. After that, you have the name from whose account the amount would be deducted. So here it would be your father's name if you're doing the payment from his account, his PAN card number, address, and this is the forex detail of the Flywire. After that, over here you have Simon Fraser University's data filled in, pre-filled in. You did not do anything over here, and you would see your name, and student ID of SFU here. And all this is pre-filled in. So travel for education is 0305. This is the LRS purpose code for which you are transferring. In case you are making your payment for GIC, you have to specify the same purpose LRS purpose code. If you go to the banks, there's a possibility that your bank people may not know what is the purpose code and they would ask you. So make sure that you give them this. I had a lot of problem figuring that out. You can watch my other video that I've specifically made on GIC and the steps involved to know more on that. After that is the confirmation and signature, everything else. So that's it. After you have signed this LRS document, you would receive a payment instruction letter over here, which would look something like this. So this is the payment instruction letter that is generated from Flywire, and it says this is the amount that you have to transfer, and any amount less or more than this would be rejected. So make sure that exactly whatever is stated, you transfer that amount from your account. And this is the rate that was given to me on that date. This is pretty high, but yeah, it is what it is. And then you have your remittance information ID over here. This is the reference ID, and when you are transferring the money via net banking or you're doing RTGS via bank, make sure you specify this ID, because this is the ID through which they identify that the payment has been made for this particular person, and it's important that you specify this in your transaction. Next, they have mentioned few details about TCS tax and what it is. After that, here's the important thing. This is the account number of the Flywire people on which you have to transfer your fund. So this is the beneficiary number, and this is the beneficiary recipient, which is the Simon Fraser University, account type, details, the address of the bank, and the IFSC code which you'll need while you're transferring currency to Flywire. After that, there's certain instructions which you can read out. After that, they have specified it may take 2 to 3 business days for the funds to be received, and it's usually within 2 to 3 days. You can do your payment by any of these methods, by visiting the branch physically or through online banking. And in the final page, the details of SFU would be there, and this is the section where you'll see your details. And finally, when the payment is done, you can download the payment receipt from here. This you need to attach in your visa again as a proof that you have done the payment, you have paid your 1 year fee. And if you're filing through SDS process, if you're filing through non-SDS process, this is not required. So the first problem that I faced was I was making the payment from an SBI account, and in the instruction letter you will have the beneficiary account number. So as soon as I added that beneficiary account number in my internet banking of SBI, like you must know, it takes around first 4 hours to activate any new beneficiary, and after that, even once the new beneficiary was activated, in SBI you have a rule that you cannot transfer more than 5 lakhs till 4 working days after the activation of any new beneficiary. So which particularly meant that I had to wait for 4 working days, and then I could transact any amount above 5 lakhs. And when you are doing this process, every day is very important, because you want to finish all this ASAP and get straight into filing your visa. And every day counts, every single day counts. So for me, 4 days was too much. And also in your instruction sheet that had been generated via Flywire, whatever the amount is, you need to transfer exact that amount in one transaction. You cannot send in multiple transactions. So basically you had to RTGS that particular amount. So what I had to do eventually was, my father had to go with a checkbook to SBI branch, and then from the branch he had to ask the branch manager to RTGS this amount. So which basically meant you cannot do this transaction via SBI if it is time critical sitting in your home. So I felt that was a hassle for me. That was one of the problems that I faced. Second problem that I faced was paying through a current account. So my father runs his business and he has a current account, and also the account that he has is in the name of his business and not on his name. So he's the proprietor of the business. So when I made the payment through his account, Flywire came back to me with mail stating that you need to prove that this account belongs to your father. Basically because the name of the account holder's name was different, and in order to prove that, you have to submit GST certificate and affidavits and whatnot, multiple documents. And they didn't even specify exactly what all documents they needed in the mail. They just said that you need to show proofs. So I had mailed them proofs again, but then I didn't get a follow back like within just 1 or 2 days. So I had to call them again and then ask them up that is there anything else that is needed, and then they came up with, okay, this you need to submit. So basically I felt like this would take a lot of time, because going back and forth on the email chains, and I wanted to get done with paying the university fee ASAP. So what I asked Flywire people was to refund me that amount, and even they preferred refunding the amount and asked me to pay from a different savings account. So I got that money refunded from Flywire and I made a payment through different account, which was a savings account. So make sure that you avoid making payments from current bank accounts, because it may take some time to process, and you wouldn't even be sure that it will be processed or not. They may come back with set of documents, and if you do not exactly provide those documents, then they may not process your payment. So you don't want to get into that. And the final tip here would be, if possible, try to make the payment through ICICI Bank internet banking, because even the Flywire people have their account in ICICI, so the process is comparatively faster. And I made 2 payments from ICICI and 2 from different account, and I felt that the payments that I had made from ICICI was processed much faster than the other payments. And it is not necessary to make the payment from your own account. So I had used my father's account, my sister's account, my cousin brother's account, and my friend's account even. So it does not really matter from whose account you are paying, but there are certain info that you need to provide once you are making the payment, like I had stated in the video earlier. And the final tip here would be, if possible, try to break this payment and do it from multiple accounts, just in order to avoid the tax. That was it, I think, which I wanted to share from my experience of making the university payment. And I did it all by myself from home. So for people who are doing it by themselves, I hope this video helps. And that's it. So like, share and subscribe, share it with your friends. Let me know how you found this video in the comment section. Is there anything else that I missed?